this time up it's just Shep and I again. But we did manage to we took the trailer home and we brought a bunch of stuff. Dresser, bed, propane tank, generator, a whole pile of shingles for the woodshed. Foam vents, about 70 of them for the insulation. So we've got lots of materials and the weather's supposed to be good. So we're looking forward to this being a very productive visit. At the end of the last video, I think it was episode 65, I was experimenting with these attic vents, these foam attic vents right here. And I mistakenly called them a baffle. They're vents. And I put them up, and then I actually cut out of OSB some baffles or blocks that block the air from coming in and block the insulation from sliding into the soffit. So they're important to have up there. It wasn't clear to me how you're supposed to do this, but I think this OSB solution works. Now, having said that, I happened to find this in a store this week. Now, this is a vent, an attic vent, same as that, except at the bottom it bends. And if you look here, I'm not sure if it'll show up, it says fold on this line and staple to the top of the wall. So if you fold this and staple it to the top of the wall, and then bend this right here, like that, you don't need to put those blocks or baffles or OSB up there. It's all right in this piece right here. However, I purchased 2 of them just to give it a shot, and I will give it a shot and see how they work, but they're so fragile. If you bend them the wrong way or catch them, they split and break. But I will try 2 of them and see how they go. Now, they are $5 each, and my OSB is free. Got lots of it downstairs. So we'll see which direction we end up going. Pink or OSB? So you can see that it works. It does close this whole area off, so the air shouldn't be able to get in, except it's not airtight. There's all kinds of open seams. It ripped off in the corner here, so there's quite a big hole that would have to be filled. But overall, I think it does work, because there's lots of room for air to come up behind this and get in the channels. So I think it does the job. And maybe next trip I'll bring more of these pink guys up. Now this area presents a bit of a problem in that when I put the vent in, as it comes up, it's going to run into that box that goes around the stovepipe, and it's going to block any air coming up the vent. Now it's only for half of that channel, so maybe I can get the air coming up the side that's going to be blocked to move over to the other side. We'll have to think of something for that. Well, here's what I came up with for that channel above the stove where the box around the stovepipe is going to block the vent. The air coming up this vent is going to hit that box right about here. So I'm going to have to cut this part of the vent out. And what I did was I took a tube, an old tube of caulking, I emptied it, and I ran it underneath the middle to the other side. I've taped it all down. So hopefully now, the air that comes up here hits the box, makes a left-hand turn, comes over and enters the other channel, and continues on up to the peak of the roof. So I'm just taking these little pieces of board and I'm sticking them in behind the wall, and I screw them to the top of the wall. And that way, when I go to put the baffle on the front here, I'll have something to screw it into and keep the baffle from falling down into the soffit. So I just put 3 screws on. Now I have to screw them in blind from the other side, but it's okay. They're small screws and it's not that hard. So that's that piece of scrap OSB screwed in place from behind, and I'll put the baffle up against it and screw into this. So now all 10 channels now have a foam vent and baffle in place, and I'm happy with these ones with the OSB baffle because they're really solid, they don't rip. The downside is each one takes a long time to do. I did experiment with this pink foam vent with built-in baffle, and it goes up fairly quickly, but it's very flimsy and it rips easily. But because it is much quicker to put up, I've decided that over on this side, I'm going to try the pink vent with built-in baffle. I know it'll tear. I'll just go up afterwards and try and fix all the tears with tape. And we'll see how it goes. I'm certain it'll go faster. So it's so much quicker to put these up. But you can see the rips that I have on this one and gaps all the way around. And here are some gaps there, a big rip down in the corner. And they're a little flimsy. But I think they'll do the job, so I'm going to continue on with these. They're just so much faster. Well, it took me more than a day to complete this side, and it took me about an hour and a half to complete this side. Now, I'm a slow learner, but I think I finally got it. If there was gaps bigger than a 1/4 inch, I used some foam on it, some door and window low expansion foam. A lot of them didn't have large gaps, so I'm going to come back and do those with some silicone caulking. It's a fairly tight fit, so I think it worked out well. It was about a month ago that I did the insulation and vapor barrier up in the loft here, but I only did one side because it was just too hot. And I wanted to wait until it cooled down. And it's a few degrees cooler today, but it's still warm. Anyway, but I've started on the other side, and I've got foam vents, the first foam vent in over here, plus an OSB baffle all the way along. There's only 5 channels. And on this last one here, I couldn't do it the same way because I've got all these cross pieces that head outside to support the overhang of the roof, and they will block the air coming up, so I had to drill 8 holes in each one of them. Now I'm just going to put some vents, cut the vents and put them in each one all the way up. Hi everyone. Well, we're back up at the cabin again, and the good news is Anna's along with us this time, and it seems that more gets done and at a better pace when Anna's steering the ship. So I'm looking forward to that because we got a lot of stuff to do. It is like fall right now, and it's just starting to change the foliage. The leaves are changing their colors, and our weather forecast is a bit of rain and some clear days as well, which works out because on the rainy days we're going to work inside mostly on insulation, not too exciting, and on the better days we're going to get outside and try and process some wood and start putting some in the woodshed. So we got our jobs set out for us, and I'm looking forward to getting at it. And of course, Shep, he's already hiding in the weeds there. I don't know if you can see him because he sent me a ball. So we'll have lots of ball tossing and hopefully a fair amount of insulation and wood stacking. Anyway, let's get at it. Most of the time he drops the ball at my feet, but he invented this game called Plinko. So he likes to go up the hill and then flick the ball with his nose and see where it goes. $10,000. Lucky dog. You're going to drop it here for me, are you? You ready? You've never been more ready, have you? There's going to be a lot of insulation get done this trip up, and we thought we'd start in the loft. Now, a few episodes ago, 3 or 4 episodes ago, I did the west side of the loft right there. And basically it seemed to work, so we're going to repeat that over on this side. And we've got a good head start. Already did all the baffles and then made them airtight with the foam. And ran the vents all the way up here. And I've done this channel. And I've got a couple in all of these. So next we thought we'd do the vapor barrier. We've cut it to size. And I've split it at every floor joist so that it can drop down into the bedroom. I'm going to go down there and staple it, and then we'll be able to start putting insulation in. So I've dropped the vapor barrier through each channel where they've been cut, and they're going to overlap the wall vapor barrier by about 8 inches. So I had to take off a couple of tongue and groove boards so that I'll be able to overlap them and tape them. So I'm just going to line them up, get them ready to go, staple them in place, and then we'll go back up to the loft and start the insulation. I stapled the vapor barrier to the wall down there to hold it in place, and now I've rolled it up, and now I'm going to crawl underneath and start stapling it to the rafters, just a couple of feet at a time. Since the chimney box is going to block the vent on the one side and air is only coming up the right side, on the next piece I'd like to make a channel from the right side back to the left side so that air is going up both channels. So I've cut a hole in the bridge here from the right channel over to the left channel, so when air comes up, some of it will come over here and go up, and some of it will continue. On the other side, it's that massive tape that's holding that channel together. Yep. So that's the first row of insulation on the kitchen side, and we'd like to do a second row of insulation, but we can't until there's a third row of venting in place, and I can't put the third row of venting up until we get some scaffold because the ladder isn't high enough to go up there. So we'll have to switch gears and we'll come around to this side and we'll do the first row of insulation along here.
Okay, is that good?
That's about right. Where that one goes. Let's lean this one up on the outside.
Okay. Switch. More. There.
Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Can't get stuck. Oh, it just went in.
Well, that's the end of this session. We got a fair amount done. Insulation is never exciting, but we made a lot of progress, and we sort of got set up for when we come back with the scaffolding and the platforms ready to go. And we also had the opportunity, when it wasn't raining, to work on our wood, and we processed a lot. We split it and stacked it and got it ready in the woodshed. So overall, pretty happy with the 3 days we had up here. Anyway, it's time to head home. And Shep, are you ready to go home? You're soaking wet. Anyway, that's it for this time and River Rock Cabin.